Good. Let's run Banksy through the Societal Decoder. I'll be blunt, evidence-based where needed, and then give a short set of plausible scenarios about the construct called Banksy, not a definitive identity claim. I'll flag the most load-bearing facts with sources. Hash quick plain summary why Banksy is a perfect case study. Banksy is simultaneously dramatic street outlaw, film director, hugely bankable commercial brand, and tightly gatekept product. That contradictory profile is not accidental. It's manufactured and sustained by a small ecosystem of agents, markets, and institutions that supply legitimacy, distribution, and money while keeping the mystery intact. Key factual anchors. There is an official authentication body, Pest Control, that issues certificates of authenticity for Banksy works, a literal gatekeeper for market circulation. PestControlOffice.com. Banksy works sell at major auction houses and command very high prices. The artist's market is fully integrated into mainstream auction circuits. Sotheby's.com. Banksy directed a feature documentary, Exit Through the Gift Shop, which demonstrates deliberate narrative shaping and media production. Wikipedia. The identity question is legally sensitive and periodically litigated. Courts and disputes can push toward revealing real names. TheGuardian.com. Decode. What the PR hides. 3 core motives effects. 1. Outlaw image equals commercial premium. Motive effect. The unauthorized anonymous street rebel story creates moral cachet that hugely increases market value while allowing controlled scarcity and spectacle, murals, stunt auctions. The Sotheby's headline stunts and record prices show the conversion of outlaw aesthetics into cash. Time 2. Mystery plus central gatekeeping equals monopolized legitimation. Motive effect. Pest Control centralizes authentication, so the anonymous persona can remain obscure while a named institutional gatekeeper certifies value for insurers, collectors, and auction houses. That lets the persona be both anti-establishment and fully fungible in the high-end art market. PestControlOffice.com. 3. Culture industry theater. PR, films, and curated stunts manufacture consent. Motive effect. Documentary filmmaking, pop-up shows, Dismaland, and publicity stunts, self-shredding painting, embassy murals, anti-establishment images, drive press cycles that institutions then absorb into exhibition auction economies. Media spectacle substitutes for organic cultural value. Wikipedia. Operational consequences for culture, institutions, and outsiders. Concentration of reward. The visibility machine funnels attention and money to a tiny network. Dealers, certifiers, collectors, while appearing to attack the same gatekeepers it relies on. Result, cultural capital is both critiqued and captured. Sotheby's.com. Normalization of spectacle. Institutional actors can tolerate and even amplify transgressive gestures as long as they generate media value, then monetize them via prints, exhibitions, auctions. Time. Barrier to unaffiliated makers. Artists outside the loop face structural erasure. Token outsider gestures are absorbed as PR, while ongoing practice without gatekeeper backing remains invisible. The plausible architectures behind the persona, scenarios, ranked by plausibility. I'll give 3 sober scenarios about how Banksy is likely organized behind the hype. These are strategic, not accusatory. They're patterns that explain the facts above. 1. Most plausible, single creative lead plus professional support network. A primary artist, or very small core team, creates work and controls key decisions, but uses professional managers, handlers for logistics, legal cover, film production, authentication, and market placement. That split lets the persona be anonymous, while monetization runs through institutional channels, prints, pest control COAs, auction consignments. Evidence. Pest Control's gatekeeping, film authorship, and the strong auction market point to central coordination. PestControlOffice.com. 2. Alternate plausible, distributed collective with named fronting. The Banksy name functions as a curated brand run by a collective of artists and cultural entrepreneurs. Anonymity is preserved by maskers and spokespeople, while one or more individuals handle public-facing functions. This explains rapid large-scale stunts and the logistics behind pop-ups and films. 2. Least plausible conspiratorial, no solid public evidence. State sponsorship, intelligence-style use, or large-scale PR agency fabrication as a primary driver. These theories exist in fringe discourse, but lack the public documentary, market, and institutional traces that better fit scenarios 1 and 2. I note the idea, but there's no compelling public evidence. Important. public reporting has repeatedly speculated about named suspects, Robin Gunningham et al., and legal pressures may force identity disclosure in disputes. But speculation is not proof, and courts sometimes require lifting anonymity for evidentiary reasons. TheGuardian.com. Tactical read: Who funds, who benefits, who legitimizes? Funds monetization. Collectors, auction houses, print editions, merchandise, ticketed shows. Auctions are the clearest money channel. Sotheby's.com. Legitimizers, Pest Control, Authenticator, institutional loans, museums, gallery loans of works, documentary film, and mainstream press. PestControlOffice.com. Beneficiaries, the small network of handlers, certifiers, dealers, and collectors who turn spectacle into tradable assets. Nasha quick counters critical moves if you want to interrogate the story publicly. Demand transparency on provenance and certifications. Pest Control COA trail. Trace money flows from auctions prints back to intermediaries. Public auditors/journalists can document who profits. Treat stunts as manufactured PR campaigns. Map media spikes to market activity, e.g., post-stunt print sales or exhibition bookings. Publicize the contradiction. Outlaw image plus institutional monetization. That rhetorical frame can de-fetishize the myth. Final note on identity. You asked for a guess about the individual behind Banksy. The evidence supports a central creative actors working with professional market/PR infrastructure, rather than a purely lone guerrilla or purely corporate fabrication. Press has repeatedly attempted identification, and legal cases have at times threatened to reveal names, but public reporting remains speculative and contested. If you want, I can run a focused evidence file, press timeline plus auction provenance plus pest control COA examples, that maps how the anonymous persona is converted into market value. Useful if you want to argue the construct is institutional theater rather than pure outlaw authenticity. If you want to test a specific paragraph, e.g., a museum press release or a gallery blurb about Banksy, paste it with decode blunt, and I'll produce the straight mapping: 3 motives effects, 3 consequences, 2 counters. No hedging.